Just weeks after ordering the Pentagon to prepare for military action in Nigeria, President Trump posting that the U.S. has done just that with a Christmas Day strike. Officials say the mission was aimed at preventing violent attacks against Christians. Selena Wang is traveling with the president.
President Trump announced on Christmas Day that the U.S. launched a strike on ISIS targets in Nigeria, claiming they've been killing Christians. The Pentagon posting this video of a missile being launched from a ship, along with the president's statement. Trump posting overnight, quote, "I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay, and tonight there was." The Pentagon says multiple ISIS terrorists were killed and that it worked with the Nigerian government to carry out this operation. It comes just weeks after Trump ordered the Pentagon to prepare for possible military action if Nigeria didn't do more to stop violence against Christians. Now, Nigeria's president doesn't deny the violence, but says previous claims that Nigeria is religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality. Independent experts say extremist groups have targeted both Muslims and Christians in Nigeria, killing tens of thousands of civilians in recent years.
I hate Nicki Minaj. She's a shitty person, selling out her fan base for a cheap coin. Let me introduce myself. My name is King. Welcome to my channel. I talk about social issues, especially now that my country is at the front of an imperialist move of the 20s. I'm talking about stuff affecting my country and just like social cultural issues across the world that I care about. And today I'm talking about Nicki Minaj and her recent appearance at Turning Point USA, where she got on stage with a white woman and sold herself for approval, and I'm sure they gave her money. Okay, it's all a grift, in my opinion. And I feel like they paid her for the appearance, and the amount they paid her was enough to rid her of money troubles for a while, I'm guessing. But it is not so simple as a person's and individual's monetary issues. She sat up there on stage and manufactured consent for Donald Trump and his warmongering administration to bomb a part of my country, a state in my country. And I have to talk about it. But I just want to talk about it as if I want to put all the onus on a foreigner to defend my country, or I put all the onus on a foreign celebrity at that to do the right thing for a random country in Africa that she could care less about. Looking at it from a much deeper place, I feel my resentment stems from despair about Nigeria in general. I was awake at 4 a.m. this morning, Boxing Day, watching this flimsy, cutesy Japanese romance drama, Forbidden Love, with its themes of passivity about oneself and the inherent sexism and misogyny at the core of Japanese society. It is a cute drama still, at least the beginning, where a female teacher is connecting with her troubled students. And once the opening track comes on, it's the most beautiful voice of Hikaru Utada. I just found this person out. I've never heard of this artist before. Sonorous, gentle, with a deep sadness that conveys loneliness and tragedy. But because some of those feelings reside in me, I feel comforted, at peace. Also, this is a drama that was released in 1999, so one of my favorite time periods of film, that's the 90s. Anyways, the second episode is underway, and I'm watching this drama on my phone. My sibling, who hasn't slept at all, comes out of their room for water and notices me. And then they tell me the news that Donald Trump has released an airstrike in Sokoto. And my heart drops to the floor through my bed as I close the tab on Forbidden Love and switch over to my Twitter tab and read the headlines all over my timeline. There goes sleep, there goes my nostalgia for Hikaru, and in floods dread, my making my feet cold while I struggle to not cry. We cannot comfort each other, my sibling and I. All we had was impotent rage. As it crystallizes in a new way for me how important it was for Nicki Minaj to play the puppet, the MAGA puppet, for Donald Trump, America, manufacturing consent for them to bomb Nigeria. How she was the ultimate diversion away from Donald Trump's alleged appearance in the Epstein files and for the imperialist claw of the United States to strike at Nigeria on Christmas on behalf of some bogus Christians. Nicki Minaj, you are hated beyond belief. I hate you. But I have to remind myself that I am looking at it from a deeper place. The despair of Nigeria. When Nicki Minaj takes the stage on the most racist platform to peddle bullshit lies about my country, Nigeria, I shake with rage, thinking, where are the Nigerian artists with nearly the same or even greater influence to counter her nonsense, to stand against imperialist propaganda that might destroy their country? And yes, there will be distant and apathetic average Nigerians trying to shut me up with why not demand that of your elected officials, your president. And to that I say, look at Donald Trump. He was elected by people living in the first world country. He was elected an utter buffoon and disgrace to the human race. He is the president of the United States. Being the president is a joke at this point in history. The concept of democracy is a farce right now, from what we can see, because he was elected, he was voted in. And president for me are nothing more than the embodiment of private interests of the richest group of people in a country. And if you saw in America, let me tell you, it is not different in Nigeria. In fact, it is exactly the same in Nigeria. In Nigeria, self, I don't know if you can trust the integrity of our election process, of the voting process, even. But anyways, moving on. Nigeria's president is exactly that, gallivanting with that colonial pest from France, Macron, another president, and implementing the harshest economic policies that is grinding our economy into dust while Nigerians bleed to stay afloat. He just might see a comrade in Trump and press down on the accelerator to quicker destruction of this country. So no, I'm not turning to the president of Nigeria. But Nicki Minaj, though, she is an artist, and in response to her hateful grift against marginalized groups in that country, America, that have supported her for years on years, other music artists spoke up against her peers, her colleagues, her juniors in the industry. Influencers with not even half of her reach have rallied on the internet to call her out on her nonsense. Even Caesar, in Petras, Marakari, to name a few, have said no. Okay, we will be louder against your nonsense. So that's why I have this same expectation from big Nigerian artists. Burna Boy is a shithead, so I don't expect squat from him. But the silence is deafening from Thames, Grammy Award winner, Arya Star, who once bragged to her haters that we are not in the same rooms. Ashake, Whiskey, even Davido, who once worked with Nicki Minaj on a track where she named herself Queen to the Motherland, which I'm assuming is Nigeria in that context here. But let us look at Ashake and Whiskey that recently boldly declared without flinching their support for AI, generative AI, replacing even them as artists. They were open, they were saying this with their own mouth just a few days back. So, to be honest, actually, if I mentioning all these artists and then looking at their track record, it's like I'm actually kidding with myself, I'm joking with myself, and that joke is the reason why I despair in Nigeria. I know Nigerians of immense influence and status practice what is called belle economy. And for those that don't know, belle means stomach, your belly, your tummy. And belle economy refers to what? Self-interest, self-aggrandization, self-serving, self, 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 self. I despair because I cannot hate them for being self absorbed and self focused, because that is the only belief system that is rewarded in this country, Nigeria. That is the belief system they made their success with. I think that was what was operating in their mind as they grew to these levels of stardom and fame and wealth and opulence. But all of them come back to Lagos for the 30 December. They came back. Ashake came back. Whiskey came back. Burna Boy came back. Fuck that one. And some others that I don't keep up with, Nigerian celebrities. All of them came back for 30 December in Lagos to shit on Nigerians with obscene displays of wealth, intertwined with the foul stench of Lagos, but overpowering it, of course, with exorbitantly priced perfumes, imported perfumes. They remain intentionally unaffected by insecurity in the streets, using gratuitous number of police escorts, contraband bulletproof cars, and perform at events and festivals with zero work ethic, because attendees, Nigerians, should even be grateful to witness them, regardless of the exorbitant, the relatively exorbitant gate fee those attendees paid to be there. By New Year's now, come New Year's, all of them would have flown away to Europe or America, where their obscene wealth has bought them new homes, new citizenships, new passports, and closed lips, closed eyes, closed ears to the plight of average Nigerians who worship them and gave them a platform in the first place. I don't do broke fans, Burna Boy says. Thames music is not typical Nigerian style, anyways, her fans claim. Davido is 30 BG gang. He does not need your money. His fanboys proclaim on social media. Thinking about this video as I forced myself to perform my usual morning routine, blocking out the possibility of this normalcy being taken away from me, I try to think of a reason. I tried to come up with something that could benefit this wealthy artist, this class of Nigerians that already had everything that money could possibly buy, to speak up against Nicki Minaj, to put up some form of resistance at least. I mean, even Bad Bunny did so for Puerto Rico, his home place, yeah. He spoke of Puerto Rico when Donald Trump's Americans were calling Puerto Rico an island, a floating island of garbage. And like, he sure spoke of for Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny. And Bad Bunny is literally set to headline one of the biggest contracts a musical artist can have in their career in this world, which is headlining for the Super Bowl. He's going to headline the Super Bowl next year, and yet he spoke up for his people against ICE, against this Gestapo type of removal of people that are not white from the streets of America, from their homes in America. He spoke up against it. So, what sort of excuse would Nigerians that are on that same level have? I'm trying to think of something to convince them to, even if not, nobody's expecting that your words are going to stop Donald Trump, but at least put up a, I don't have the words for that. And I had nothing. I still have nothing. I don't know, maybe for the sake of a very cheap but aesthetically pleasing holiday site, to do your dirty December. Maybe speak up for Nigeria so that you can have something that you can use to drum up a personality for your foreign fan base to cling onto like tourists. The way Burna Boy was holding on to Fela, like it was some renaissance of high life and Afrobeat. And then he threw it away when he had cemented himself in the industry. The way Thames, when she was winning her Grammy Awards, she, being a Nigerian, like it was part of what came up in her speech, it was part of what gave her so much beauty on the stage that night. Like, I'm not saying being a Nigerian is everything that makes things interesting or all these artists interesting, but it's something that they bring to people that have never experienced Nigeria before. And that was part of the joy of spreading Afrobeat. But of course, in this capitalist system, we cannot hope for authenticity to last in the face of copious greed and desire for hoarding of wealth. So I don't know, maybe that will motivate you Nigerian artists, to speak up against your country people losing their lives and homes to imperialism. Anyway, that's actually all I have to say. Yeah, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. And if you want to support your fave that I called here, just don't bother. Don't bother. Yeah. See you next one.